Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Irresistible and I'm a manifestation and soul realignment coach. My channel is geared towards helping you become your highest potential so that you can create and live the extraordinary life that is your birthright. In today's video, I'll be talking about how your friends are always mirroring to you your inner assumptions around your desire. But before we get started, just a quick reminder that I offer both email and video coaching. So if you need help in manifesting any of your desires, you can definitely check out my coaching options. They're all in the description below. And please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon in order to receive a notification anytime I upload a new video. So let's get started. Today's video is inspired by a conversation I had with one of my lovely clients who is immensely triggered because her friends keep telling her that her SP has used her and walked away. And she was saying, I'm trying to be positive, but then I hear comments like that. So here, this is something you really need to understand. Your friends or the people in your environment, they may not be necessarily friends, whoever is in your environment is always reflecting to you your inner assumptions around your desire. So the fact that they are saying these to her and she's getting immensely triggered is a sign that this is an assumption she has from within her, because then she would not hear that from them, or if she does hear it from them, she won't be triggered. So the fact that she is getting triggered is a sign that it is her own inner judgment of the situation. So how do you, first of all, deal with this? The first thing you need to know is you have to identify that this is a mirror of your own inner assumption, and the mere fact that you're getting triggered is a sign that is your own inner assumption around the circumstance, and all they're doing is holding up the mirror. So what you need to do is come to that realization that this is my own assumption, and two, choose not to engage with it. Now, sometimes it might seem hard to do that because you have been so practiced in believing certain things about yourself. It's subconscious. You've been telling the story about yourself for a very long time, so you kind of want to stop engaging with it, and you do that by affirming. You can do that by affirming or just recognizing that this is a mental pattern you're choosing to engage with. So bringing yourself into conscious awareness is also very helpful. You say, well, no, that's not true, that I will not engage with that. But sometimes if you're immensely triggered, you may want to affirm. So you want to go back and say whatever it is that they are saying to you, you want to change that wording and say, no, that's not true, and you affirm for it. Essentially, if it was not an assumption, you would not be triggered. You will just not be bothered. You will not care. That's the first thing. Second thing, they will stop saying these things to you. They will not say them. So it's either you will not be triggered or you will not hear those comments from your friends. Now, of course, there's always that assumption you have about your friend that they are likely to boo my ideas or say things that are hurtful. That is an assumption about them. And you will know, because when you are triggered by the idea of what they're saying, it's very different from being triggered by them. Because if you were to be triggered by them because you expect them to behave a certain way, the people in your life, you're going to be triggered by them. You're going to say, why do they always say these things? You get bothered, blah, blah, blah. You'll know that this is about them, not about your desire. But when you're not triggered by them, but by what they are saying, by the idea, and it's really triggering to you, then it is an assumption you have within you. And this is where you have to bring yourself back and remind yourself that they are only reflecting to you what you are assuming about the situation. And then you have to release it. You release it by affirming. You release it by bringing yourself into conscious awareness and saying, I'm not choosing to interact with this assumption anymore. It is not true. It is absolutely not true. So in my client's situation, she has a very strong self-concept. She actually truly sees herself as an absolute catch and very lovable. And she sees herself as a queen, but she felt used. Like he got what he wanted, he chased her, he got what he wanted, and he walked away. So her assumption is around her SP kind of using her. It's her assumption around him. And so this is where she needs to change her assumption that at circumstances in general, you have an assumption that men are after you and they want to use you. That's an assumption, general assumption, right? So you kind of want to recognize that this is what you're choosing to identify with, and you have to say, no, there are plenty of very good people out there, and my SP is one of them. You have to not identify with it simply. It's a switch. You're saying, I'm not believing that. I'm choosing not to believe it anymore. And that's not my story. And that's not the world I live in. In the world I live in, these are the positive assumptions that I have, that there are plenty of people out there who are good, who are truly not going to disappoint you in the way you expect. And the same thing goes for assumptions men have about women, that they are gold diggers, that they are after your money, and I'm not, this is just a stereotype. I'm just giving you examples that are commonly held. There are plenty of other assumptions out there that people have that are holding them back. I'm just sharing with you some of the most common things that are out there, and none of them are true. It's just what you are choosing to uphold in your reality. And that when you decide to change those assumptions about circumstances in general, it will be easier for you to say that this is, in my specific scenario, my SP or the person I'm dealing with, whoever they are, this is not the scenario about them. You start to find it easier to accept. So this is something I always use myself in my own experience. When a friend tells me something that is triggering to me, I know that it is reflecting something I have within me. And I say, oh, they're mirroring that assumption about my desire, and I'm not going to identify with it, or I may affirm for it or whatever. So there are different ways you can go about this. To be honest, affirming for it, or scripting if you're into scripting, or simply bringing yourself into conscious awareness is enough. Both work, and you just have to identify with the fact that this is why you are getting triggered, because it is your inner assumption. Otherwise, you will not engage with it. It would be like a friend coming and telling you the sun rises from the west, not the east. So you'd be, okay, you're not gonna engage with that thought, with that idea. It's just not true, right? You're not gonna care what they're saying. It would be literally a neutral interaction that you have, and ultimately they will stop saying these things altogether, right? This is a very, very powerful way to know what's going on subconsciously. We're not saying you have to dig in or any of that, but when something is said to you around what it is you're trying to manifest and it is triggering to you, it means you have it as a subconscious assumption and you just need to release it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please like, comment, and share. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.